Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Reality Club. I'm one of your hosts, Alicia, and this is Lauren. And we are back to recap The Traitors Season 4, episodes 3 through 5. So, 3 episodes. A lot has happened since we last recapped. We recapped episode 1 and 2. And since then, we've had 3 people murdered and 3 people banished. So, lots to catch up on. And yeah, honestly, our last episode looking back is really funny because we thought at the time recapping episode 1 and 2 would be a good idea. But in hindsight,
boy, were we wrong.
we made a calculated error.
Yes, we did. But much more fun for you guys to watch, for sure. I actually feel like we probably talked about exactly who the secret traitor was multiple times in that conversation too.
Yeah, so anyone who is just tuning in, didn't listen to our first Traitors recap, we only recapped episode 1 and 2 because Lauren, as you can tell, isn't in studio with us today. She's back home in a different time zone, and so we had a crunch time of recording, and we were like, yeah, episode 1 and 2 is good enough. We can record episode 3 later. And so our whole first episode was us guessing who the secret traitor was.
And just hoping that they kept it a secret the whole season.
Yeah, so we didn't anticipate that episode 3, within the first 10 minutes, they would tell us who it is. So that was, it's kind of funny to look back on that. But anyway, speaking of the secret traitors, were you shocked on who the secret traitor was?
No, I literally put Donna as second on my traitor list. And I'm pretty sure I mentioned how I thought she could be a really good traitor. So to me, it wasn't a surprise. However, all week, because I just watched the 3rd episode last night with 4 and 5, so I've been trying to keep this, like, I didn't really know. However, I've been seeing Mama Kelsey all over social media, so I had a little feeling that maybe she was the one.
That's so funny.
How did you feel about that? Because I know how I feel, and it's not that great.
So for anyone who listened to our last episode, I was hoping she wasn't the secret traitor, only because I was hoping she would stick around.
Yeah.
And she had me fooled, honestly. She had me fooled. I wanted to believe that she was a faithful and she was just shy. But she wasn't. She was the secret traitor, as we all know now. And honestly, I'm a little disappointed. Not with her being the secret traitor necessarily, but the fact that they threw in this new twist this year, and it was exciting for us because we got to guess who the secret traitor was, and we didn't get to see any behind the scenes after. Like, I don't know. It's fun that we didn't know who she was, but at the same time, we didn't really get to see her shine as a traitor. And that makes me sad because we only got to see her for like 2.5 episodes, and we didn't get any behind the scenes. We didn't get to see her like make her moves. Why did she choose those people? There was so much missing.
Definitely think that Donna, specifically being the secret traitor, put her to a wicked disadvantage. I think maybe if it was anyone else, they might have had a better time doing it. I think if Donna was with the traitor group, she would have been awesome. But I think this specific position really isolated her.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
I just didn't. I feel like she got to the point where she wasn't even like didn't even know how to handle the situation anymore. Because even at that round table, like when they were kind of drilling her and like hearing her talk before that, I kind of felt like it was a little suspicious just how she was talking. And it just kind of seemed like she wasn't maybe fighting as hard as other people do. But that's also maybe just how she is. We really didn't get to know her as a person much more, or like how her character is. So it's hard to say.
Yeah, I'm sad to see her go because I was excited for her to be on the show. I'm sad we didn't get to see her like behind the scenes be a traitor. And I'm not sad that she was a traitor, but I was in my heart hoping she wasn't.
I know. That, but no, it didn't surprise me at all. I think this is like, I don't know, obviously we haven't seen the UK Traitors or the Canadian one, but it seemed like this is the first time a Traitor's been like voted out pretty early. I think this is the earliest I've seen one.
I'm disappointed in the fact that they brought this whole new twist and it was
Such
just
a good
over.
concept. Yeah, such
Great
a good
concept,
concept.
just over way too fast.
Yeah.
And that's why when we recorded episode 1 and 2, I was like, there's no way they're going to reveal it in the third episode. Like, that's going to be the cliffhanger. But no, it wasn't. I don't want to talk like too much about episode 3 because there's so much that happened in 4 and 5. But how did you feel about Colton being the one that was spearheading the troops at Donna?
I don't know how I'm feeling about Colton right now. I love how he's kind of like the ringleader for everyone, but I do think that's gonna bite him in the ass, and I think it's already starting to, as we've maybe seen in the last two episodes after this.
Right.
I definitely wasn't expecting that from Colton. I wasn't expecting him to be like a super vocal, I guess, leader, trying to lead everyone to who he thinks the traitor is. But then when I really think about the cast, I'm like, there's not very many people who are like that.
Well, this was me. I was thinking about who was already eliminated, right? Because we've had, I think, 7 or 8 people already eliminated from the show within the first 5 episodes.
Yeah.
And this is another reason why I wanted to see like behind the scenes with Donna, because the people that she put on her short lists, like, she was going for it. Like, she wasn't putting floaters. She was putting the big players on her list. Like, she knew what she was doing, and we didn't get to see any of that. But she really did get out some of like the bigger, bolder players early. Even though there is a lot of bold players still left, obviously loud people, smart people, but like Ian or Rob C, for example, who at beginning of episode 3, he was the one that was murdered. And I don't know him, but he seemed like someone that would be really fun to watch because he's really smart. He called out the murder in plain sight. Yeah. And unfortunately,
he was the one who got murdered in plain sight.
He was the one that got murdered. But I would have loved to see him around still, right? Because right now, it seems like, just talking about all of the episodes in general as we get into it, this year, like, there's a lot of things we were wrong about. Even like Candace, for example, when we were talking about her in the first 2 episodes, we're like, she is blowing her cover. Yeah. Like, there's no way she's getting past next week. She started the Congo line. Like, she is doing too much. But then after now finishing episode 4 and 5, I actually think she might be one of the best traitors.
No, you can't do my boy Rob like that.
Is it one of?
I know. You're right. I think, well, just back to Mama Kelsey, just closing that up. I think if she was in the group with the traitors with the other girls, I think it would have been great. I think if Rob was the secret traitor, he's someone who could have gotten away with it and we would have had absolutely no idea because he's really good at flying under the radar. Whereas Mama Kelsey's more, I just kind of felt like she maybe needed that extra maybe support, that little, just that team dynamic.
Yeah, because that's fair.
Being a solo like traitor like that, I can only imagine how isolating that is. Like, it's hard.
Totally, but I agree.
No, Candace or Candy, is that
Candace?
Candace. It's just spelled differently, I thought. No, I was very surprised with her the last 2 episodes, and I was gonna bring that up because at the beginning I was like, this girl's not making it past the 3rd episode.
I know.
Now, honestly, all 3 traitors are barely suspects right now. I mean, Lisa Serena, and that's actually something I was gonna bring up, but Colton brought it up the very last bit of that episode.
Yeah,
but...
I mean, Candace, for me, she, just watching her in episode 4 and 5, she's doing such a great job at like building relationships. It seems like a lot of people trust her. Yeah. She is actively participating in like conversations about her suspects. Yep. At the round table, she is speaking. She's not, if you look at Lisa and Rob, at least what they show in the episode, like maybe they talk and they just get cut out a little bit more, but Candace is vocal at the round table and she's not scared to stand up for people who aren't traitors even.
And that's the thing. She's not even the type to just go with what everyone is saying. Like,
Mm-hmm.
when everyone was going after Tiffany, she fully was like, no, Ron, I don't feel good about you. So I love that because I love how she's
Yep.
not just like going with the flow, like, you know what, everyone wants this person out, so I'm just gonna do that just to not cause issues.
I
No, she's
agree.
being her own person, and I think that's working to her advantage
Yeah,
100%.
I actually respected her a lot for, like, we'll talk about the roundtable more later, both
Yeah.
of them, but um I respected that she stuck to her guns with Ron.
Yep.
And even the last roundtable where everyone was voting Michael, she voted Ron still, which I feel like could put suspect on her, really. If it's like, why did a couple people not vote for Michael? That's weird.
Yep.
I think, yeah, I'm really impressed with how she's playing in these past couple episodes. I actually think she has a chance of going really far.
Yeah.
With that being said, with just the traders in general, um, in the past couple seasons, I feel like I've been more team faithful. I'm like, get the traders, you got them. Like,
Yep.
I'm rooting for them to find them. Whereas this season, I'm noticing that I am totally team trader. I
Yep.
am loving the chaos that is going around the house without any of their names being brought up. I
Yep.
love that they're going undetected so far. And I love how they're working as I love the teamwork they have. Like, them three together are amazing.
Which is so funny because I felt like at the beginning you wouldn't have expected the three of them. Like, I felt like when I saw Rob and I was like, Rob does not want to be a traitor with these two girls right now. But no, I think I literally wrote in my notes, I'm like, this could be the first year the traitors win. Or like the first year that I've seen that the traitors win. Because we're 4 episodes in, or like 5 now, but this is when I wrote it. We're 4 episodes in. Neither of those three people have even slightly been named by others.
I know. I will say,
Like,
without spoiling anything, there is a season that the traders win or
oh,
a
okay.
trader wins. But none that you have
Is
seen.
it season 1 then?
Yes, I
Like this?
believe season 1 a trader
Okay.
won. I don't know
Okay.
anything about it, so I still want to watch. But from my
Yeah.
understanding, in season 1 a trader did win.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
I
okay.
actually I would actually love for a trader to win this year.
Alicia, I can see Rob just taking it. That boy's gonna win.
I okay, as much Lisa, by far the most entertaining trader. She is
Okay.
television gold.
No, but I do need to say something about her, and I wrote this down during episode 4. But as someone who knows Lisa or knows of her personality from watching her on Housewives,
Yep.
she is not acting herself. And I think, like,
Okay.
me in the back of my head, I'm thinking, this is a loud girl. This is a strong woman who speaks her mind. And
Right.
she's just flying under the radar right now. So
Okay.
that's
See,
weird for her. For me, seeing that, like, that was weird for her. And then having it confirmed, obviously, at the end of season or episode 5 by
episode
Colton
5.
was kind of just like, oh my gosh, like, I'm glad other people are seeing this too.
Okay, that's good to know because I don't know Lisa from anything else. But even just with like her, I guess if you want to call it more tamed personality this season, she's so funny.
Yeah.
I feel like we see her personality a little bit more when she's like in her trader form because that's where she can be herself.
Yeah.
And it's like we got little clippets of her just like even when I mean kind of going back to I guess the beginning of episode 4 where we had the faithfuls tied to the tree.
Yep.
Tied to the tree. We had Eric, Ron, Caroline, and Kristen tied to the tree, and when Caroline pulls off her mask to see the traitors, and she's like calls out Lisa, and Lisa's like, "Bye bye, Caroline."
Yeah. go go back to Dubai.
I was like, "Oh my gosh!" First of all, I don't know what all of the housewives' relationships are, obviously between like different shows, but it was I thought it was smart that they took out a housewife because
yeah, they 100% needed to.
they had to get out at least one housewife, obviously. So I think that was the right move, but I thought she was going to be nervous to do it because obviously you face to face have to murder, I guess, what be considered your people.
Yep.
And she had no shame.
No
shame.
Oh my god, Caroline was like, see you at BravoCon. Lisa's like, no you won't.
No, you won't.
Yeah, no, I you're right though. I feel like we only get to see Lisa's personality when she is with the other traders, and I think that's gonna be her biggest downfall in this game.
Know. And that makes me sad.
It does make me sad too. And even like at that breakfast, Obviously, Monet bringing up, okay, like let's get the story from everyone to see like if their stories match. Because everyone is
Mm-hmm.
blindfolded, everyone, Lisa was supposed to be there. And everyone starts drilling Lisa. Lisa's giving the most extravagant story, giving so many unnecessary details that someone called out, but immediately she has her sunglasses on. The only
Yeah.
person in the castle who has her sunglasses on all the time.
True.
Like
But
I
maybe she's just sensitive to light.
no,
Maybe
you're
she gets a
right.
headache.
But no, it's just so funny how like in episode 4 I'm writing down all these things and then I'm just glad people are seeing it now because yeah, it's weird for her. Um
I mean, I feel like we already said it in episode 1 and 2, but like out of everyone, she would be the most obvious traitor.
yeah,
So I think the downfall is like she is herself, and
yeah.
herself seems like someone who'd be a fantastic traitor. So I think regardless if she was a traitor or not a traitor, people would be eventually assuming or maybe suspicious of her,
Yeah.
no matter what. So, but I hope like the traitors seem to be working really well together right now. So I do think they will continue to try and like shield her as long as they can. But there are some things that are going to make it kind of obvious. Like last week, she was technically on the chopping block and didn't obviously get murdered. This
Yep.
following episode, again, she's one of the people to be considered, or she was again one of the people to be considered and didn't get murdered.
Yeah.
And so, how many times can you be on that chopping block and people not take you out? So, I think, especially with kind of how the last episode ended, like obviously we're jumping around, but Colton being suspect of her, and they're in the turret deciding on whether or not they should take Colton out.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think, what do you think of that? Like, do you think it would be smart for them to take him out in that moment, or do you think
I
they
think
need to?
that would have been the best time to take Colton out, to be honest, because everybody knows Colton's like he's smart. He's yes, he got Mama Kelsey. Yes, he was wrong about a couple people. But that's what sucks is that he keeps throwing names out there and like yes, some of them are actually the traitors, but a lot of them aren't. And I think that's his downfall right now is he's throwing out so many names all the time that people are gonna end up being like, okay, well this is kind of weird. And they're already kind of starting to be like that. I
I know
think
it's so, yeah.
so like I
Sorry.
don't know. I think that the best option for them would be to send Colton home just because he's probably going to be the one. Like he just seems like the most vocal like the leader right now. So I think
I
that would benefit
know
them the most.
it's tough because I feel two different ways about what they could do. Like obviously if they take Colton out now with the option that they have, um he's gone
Yeah.
and he won't be coming directly after Lisa. And he's also pretty like even though he's kind of all over the place, eventually as soon as he gets his like eyes on someone, he's so determined to get them out regardless
Yeah.
if he actually thinks they're a traitor or not. So like
Oh yeah.
even if he like just happens to guess that any of them are a traitor, he's going to go for them, and that's
Yeah.
dangerous for them regardless of if he's right or not.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think taking him out could be a little risky because for Lisa, I should say, because if Colton all of a sudden gets murdered and everyone who's been hearing that Colton's been bringing up Lisa's name, that can also put some suspect on her.
I do agree with that. But
More
this
suspect, I should say, I
I
guess.
mean, how many people though were in that conversation when Rob was there with Colton? I think it was just Rob, Colton, and maybe two other people.
I think it was Jam Jam and Dorinda and maybe Kristen.
Yeah, so there were a couple people that heard that. I think I'm nervous because I feel like Colton's gonna remember who he said that to. Rob obviously told Lisa, Colton's a little suspect of you right now. You're not talking enough.
Mm-hmm.
Lisa's gonna start all of a sudden over the top talking, which I think she's gonna go from 0 to 100. That's gonna be weird. And then I think Colton, if he doesn't go home right now, he's going to be smart enough to figure out, okay, one of those people that I was talking to about this, I don't know, maybe is in cahoots with Lisa.
Mm.
But I don't know.
I put down that Colton. This is like I put down this early into the episode, but I put that Colton is the Tom Sandoval of the season.
Okay, I wouldn't put him in that category.
No, honestly, he's not as entertaining. There's
Not as
I think
entertaining and actually can is sometimes right.
sometimes right.
I
He's
think
kind of giving Pilot Pete from season 2.
that's what
Like,
I'm
why are the Bachelors? Why are the Bachelors just like the exact same?
they're all the same. They're all the same. But there's always that one guy on the show. And,
Yeah.
like Colton's just that guy right now. And I mean,
Last year it was Tom, but he just was never right.
no. Nobody ever listened. And yeah, nobody ever listened to him. Colton actually has people standing by him. And I think
Yeah.
especially after um the round table with Michael going home. I think
Mm-hmm.
that was Colton got a lot, even though Michael wasn't obviously a traitor. I think Colton after that just got like not the respect, but like I think a lot of people are just like, you know what? I'm just gonna listen to Colton,
I know.
and I
He's
hate
giving
that, but
it is giving Pilot Pete because Pilot Pete had his little squad that
yeah,
he slowly built.
yeah, yeah. So
But
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I was upset that Colton was the person that clocked Donna, and he was right. Like I was mad that she was a traitor because Colton got the satisfaction
Yeah,
of her being the traitor, and then after that he was like he felt
he
unstoppable.
got too cocky after that, way too cocky,
Even
and
in his eyes, like looking at his eyes when he's looking at people, I'm like, oh my god, he's scary.
yeah,
I'd be so scared if he thought I was a traitor.
yeah, I would not want him coming after me.
He's looking at you like you're prey. Like,
Yeah, I absolutely not. I would want to be on Colton's side, yes, just to avoid that confrontation between him.
well, speaking of another person Colton went after, what were your thoughts on his approach going after Tiffany at the first round table in episode 4? Did you see that coming? What were your thoughts?
I don't. It's hard because I'm noticing that everyone is just a bad faithful. Like the thing with Donna, not Donna, sorry, who I think maybe it actually was Tiffany. I don't know, but I felt like I just kept writing down like this person, yes, is a faithful, but they're such a bad faithful. Like I would even vote them out at this point. And
Well,
that's
what
kind of like what Tiffany was to me. I felt like she was trying to fight for her life, but like was still doing it in a really suspicious way. Which, like, even though I didn't know she was a traitor, if I was at that round table, I would have been convinced that she was. And I think
see
that's happening with a lot of the faithfuls right now. I feel like they're just so bad at being faithfuls or so bad at like fighting to stay that like
well,
all these other people drilling them, I'm like, you know what? I believe you.
I think the problem is like what actually makes someone a bad faithful though. Like what argument do you have if someone is coming at you with like made up evidence that you're not a traitor? Like there's nothing to prove you're faithful. There's
Yeah.
literally nothing to prove you're faithful. And so truthfully, like I think Tiffany was playing pretty hard. Like she definitely was bringing out her big brother, and she was playing strategic. I don't think that makes her a bad faithful, but I just felt so terrible for her at that round table. Like I was emotional. Like I felt everyone was crying. I was almost crying. Not that
Yeah.
I like necessarily was like being like not that I was attached to Tiffany by any means, but I just thought it was insane how confident Colton was coming at her for really no reason besides like she's playing pretty hard. He's playing hard. Like he's doing the exact same thing as her. He is literally doing the exact same thing as her and is accusing her behavior as traitor behavior. And
I think that
um
Colton is just sometimes goes in way too hard and is not like trying to like he's not bringing up evidence to convince people why. He's just kind of like being like you're a traitor. I'm gonna vote for you. Like I think if Colton maybe but I mean, but whatever he's doing is working clearly because people are still listening to him. But I just don't think his evidence would be enough for me to be like, you know what, I believe you.
I mean, I also think in that round table yes, Colton was the first person to bring up her name,
Yeah.
but unfortunately, the person that like really took her down was Eric,
Oh, I was.
because Eric,
Oh
it's
no.
teased at the beginning of the episode that he had an idea of whose laugh he heard.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he didn't mention it until the round table, and I was like, oh my gosh, what if I honestly, in that moment, I thought he was going to call out one of the traitors. I was like, whoa, one of them really messed up. And he says, I thought it was Tiffany. And as soon as he said that, I felt so bad for Tiffany, because I was like, that's it.
No, see,
Like,
if I was Tiffany, I would have just had to laugh in that situation. Like, are you freaking kidding me right now? And
I
you
think
know
if people
what?
were, yeah.
This was the one I was literally wrote down. I'm like, I feel like Eric has found his voice a lot more in episode 4 and 5,
Yes.
which is great because he was super quiet in like episodes 1 to 3, and
Yes.
I feel like there's like some potential there, but no, Eric telling the group that I feel bad for him. I feel bad for her. That was just not. You really think Alan would have like made it that easy for someone to think like, like there's no way a traitor could be found out because I heard them laugh. Like that was not going to happen. I feel
I
like
know.
that's not fair.
I think it's tough because I do believe that's who he thought he heard. Like, it's a laugh. You don't know these people that well. I believe that he thought he heard her laugh. It's just unfortunate because there was already this pile up going at Tiffany, and he brought that up. And so,
Yeah.
really, at the end of the day, this sounds bad, but Faithfuls, while they're working as a team, at the same time, right now, there's a lot of them. And not all of them can make it to the end. And so, as bad as it sounds, I feel like a lot of traders in that moment faithfuls, in that moment when they're not 100% sure on who a traitor is, if they see the group going for somebody, they just go along with it because it's not going to be them getting eliminated. It's whether it's a traitor or not, like, people have to go. And it's just unfortunate that Tiffany was kind of like the sacrificial person of that table.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm so surprised at how intense these roundtables have been, considering that none of the people fighting each other are traitors.
Well, I know, but also something that I'm actually one thing I will say about Candace, which also like makes me really appreciate her as a traitor now, is how she'll be the one to kind of like bring up a conversation at a table. And we kind of mentioned that before. But that's something over years, it's never the traitors to bring something up first, unless they're like completely fighting for their life. But
Right?
that's something I like about Candace is she can so casually just like bring up a name and talk about it, and you would never
Yeah.
like suspect it as anything that like a faithful wouldn't do. Like I don't know.
Exactly. No, I agree. Like, there's in that moment, there was so many like reasons, or she could have just been silent. She could have just said nothing. It
Yeah.
wasn't. No one was going after a traitor, but instead of choosing to go after like the same person everyone else is going after, she still stands strong in what she is doing.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm like, that is so smart, because when people like, at some point, there's always going to be suspicion on everybody, right? Like, as the numbers dwindle and like there's less and less people, like, you're always going to have someone suspect of you at some point. What you need to build is reasons why you're not a traitor. Because like, someone's going to say something that points to you and they're going to go, huh, that's true.
Mhm.
But here's the list of things that I've like observed so far that outweigh that little suspect, right? So she's building these like small things that, like, when someone brings up Candace's name, they'll be like, yeah, but at the round table, why would she have done that?
Yeah.
Oh, why would she do this if she's a traitor, right? So like, she's smart because she's building that like she's building that catalog of things for people to like be like, no, she can't be a traitor. That doesn't make sense.
She's a lot smarter than I like pegged her out to be at the beginning. So I'm impressed, and I think her and Rob had a lot of potential together. I think Lisa's gonna take them down. unfortunately.
I don't think Lisa's gonna take them down. I just think Lisa, out of all of them, is probably going to be the first to be suspect, as we can already see that it's been happening.
True.
Just because of like how her personality and like.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know what? If she goes and goes quiet, I obviously think that Candace and Rob will be fine, but hopefully she doesn't go fighting. I don't think she would, but we've obviously seen a lot of traitor on traitor
I
fighting
think
at the round table.
Oh, you mean you think she would fight another traitor? I don't think she would.
I hope she wouldn't, but like I think that would be like, I don't know. I can kind of see something like that happening with her.
True. I didn't think about that. I never thought about that. Yeah, because we did see a lot. Traitor on Traitor is for sure the most interesting part of the whole show.
I know. Well, it was the most iconic when, I mean, the first season we watched with Boston Rob. I was like, holy crap, I didn't even know you could do this. But no, it's awesome when you see Traitor on Traitor, but it ends up obviously taking both of you out. That's the only downfall.
While it would be amazing TV, and I would love to see that for my own entertainment, I like the other traitors enough to not want that for them. Yeah. So, that's tough.
They're still, because they did Secret Traitor at the beginning, do you think they're still going to do another traitor, either like someone new comes onto the show, or maybe actually I guess they sometimes do like recruitments.
I think if someone goes in like the next episode or two, one of the traitors, I think they would recruit a third traitor. I think it just depends on how far along they are.
Yeah.
But they did recruit Brittany last year very, very late.
Yeah.
Like literally like within, I think there was maybe 4 or 5 people left.
I think there was like 3 episodes left, not even.
So I definitely think there'll be one recruitment if someone goes. But I also think Rob will be the second person to be suspect, because while he's playing a really, like right now, he's playing the perfect game. He's like involved and social, but like kind of more quiet. But I do think after, like everyone right now is going for it, right? Like the beginning of the season, everyone is gung-ho. They're pointing out the people who are loud. They're pointing out the people that are quiet. Like he's kind of just floating through. And I think halfway through the season, that's when people start questioning everybody. Yeah. And I don't think he's built up enough, again, like Candace, like that catalog of things that make him a faithful yet.
Well, and
at least from what we see.
No, you're right. And he hasn't even brought up name yet of someone he suspects is a traitor. True. And that was something that was an issue with Donna. People are like, well, who do you think is a traitor then, if it's not you? And like she just didn't have a strong enough case to back that. Whereas, they might start turning around being like, wait a minute, Rob hasn't really spoke up much. So you're right. I really think he has faithful potential, or like people to think he's like, he's always like the challenges. That's what I think about. I'm like, he's always a good team, like a good, I guess, teammate during challenges. He's always focused on like getting money instead of shields. Like, I think that really helps his kind of game a bit, but you're so right. If he doesn't start like naming people soon, I think he could be the next after Lisa. Yeah. Which sucks because I can see him like taking it to the end, taking the crown.
I know, he's growing on me, and he's wearing his overalls, so
I know, I was so excited.
For anyone that doesn't know Rob from Love Island, he wore those overalls all the time on the show. So
yeah. And I still keep thinking about Rob for Dancing with the Stars. Ever since you put that in my head.
I think there's 100% chance that Rob will be on Dancing with the Stars. I will say the only good thing about Rob C getting eliminated is we don't have to we don't confuse the Robs now. There's only one Rob.
There's one Rob. There was always only one Rob.
So we unfortunately lost Rob C. We lost Caroline. We lost.
Can we go back to the challenge of the 4th episode though?
The one that they're like putting the spears in the people and lighting them on fire and yelling their name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I just feel like we breezed past it. I just thought it was...
Yeah.
I just wrote small notes down for that. The first, I wrote Rob carrying Mora in that challenge was so extra.
That was so Love Island coded.
Yep. And then I
Throwing him
put
over his shoulders.
yes, but his athleticism is so hot, so I'll give him that. And then right at the end, did you not think it was super dramatic when Yam Yam started crying because his name got very called? I thought that
I
was the most dramatic thing ever. Like your name gets called once. We're 4 episodes in,
I
but
think, but to be fair, in Jam Jam's defense, I I do think it was a little bit of a tactic for sure. Like he's a gamer. I think there was probably a little bit of like strategy in it. But I don't think he's wrong for thinking that he probably could go home because think of who the traitors have been eliminating so far. It's quite literally been there's been two of the five like gamers already kicked out. Only strong players have really left so far. So
true.
if I was a gamer, or I guess like one of the gamer people, I would be worried. They just got rid of
Yeah.
Rob. They just got rid of Ian. Like you're kind. you're kind. Oh my gosh, we're like categorizing people. I could see, he is in danger for sure. Like, but I don't know. I also would have cried probably.
I just
So
thought that was a crazy reaction because there is like some people have been their names are getting called every single episode.
yeah, I
And
did like
it's
that in that challenge. They did go with people who hadn't been at risk yet.
yeah,
Because I didn't realize how many people have just been shielded this whole time.
I know, same. I didn't realize in past seasons that they made such a small, I guess, group of people that can be killed. Like I always assumed it was just you can kill everybody, but I felt like the last couple challenges we've done, it's really narrowed it down to between like 5 and 10 people.
I know it. I do think that is common. I think now that we're moving into like further more into the season, there'll be less shields.
Yeah.
Like I think at the beginning of the season they give out a lot, and then within the next like as it goes on, they'll be like 1, 2, 3, right? Like even in this episode, I guess technically anyone could have taken a shield in the fountain challenge where they had to grab all the statues. There were shields
Oh
really
yeah.
for everybody. Like anyone could have taken. Or maybe I guess someone could have. We still don't know, but
True.
yeah, I think I was thinking about that yesterday because I was like, oh, this is kind of annoying that the traders don't really have full control of who they can eliminate. It's been really decided by the group.
Yep.
But at the same time, I do think that is a good factor because then the traders don't have full control. Like if they just had a whole span of people every single time, they can just do whatever they want. It makes it a little bit more interesting that they don't have that full control, you know?
That's true, but I think this just makes it easier to narrow down for the faithfuls who those traders could be.
Yeah.
Just
But
because, yeah, Lisa can only be on the chopping block so many times before people are like, okay, that's kind of weird.
totally. Which I think is unfortunately going to happen soon. I think that'll be a topic of conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you think that anyone took a shield in challenge in episode 5 in the
I
statue
was
challenge?
actually gonna ask you that. Well, I guess it's only Lisa and Candace were in the one group. So it's only that
Mm-hmm.
other group that really would have been like would have taken it or not, which I can't even remember who was in that other group. I think it was like Michael,
Natalia.
Dorinda. Was Dorinda? Oh, you're right. I can't even remember who's in that group.
All I know is Natalia because she was the one that was very like she didn't trust anyone. She was like, "Let's take the shields."
No, which is fair. And honestly, I wrote down that I think if it were me, if it was a solo shield, I wouldn't have taken it. If it were group shield and there was 4 of them and 4 of us, I might have been more inclined to do it.
I
What about
know
you?
that is such a that is a tricky situation. I was thinking about it the whole time too because I'm like, ooh, I would be so tempted to take a shield
Just think,
because
Alicia, this show is about lying and deceit. That is literally the whole concept. So
but
if
there's a
you're think about you can't trust anyone and it really is every man for himself.
no, you can't trust anyone. But there are implications of taking a shield that could be long term worse for you, right? So like let's say you take a shield in that episode and yes, you are safe that night, and somebody else, another faithful, gets murdered. Okay, cool. Someone got murdered. It wasn't you. However, they're going to know that someone, the group now knows that people took a shield. You either have to hold this lie that you took one and hold hope that that lie never gets out.
Yeah.
Or you come out with the truth right away and nobody then trusts you. Or they are suspect of you because they think you're a traitor who wanted to take a shield so that they could murder someone. So, like, there's risk and reward to this, right? Like, is the
That's
reward
true.
better than the risk? And I personally don't think the risk is, it's like the long game, right? Like,
That makes sense. I think it depends though. If I was on the chopping block that night, kind of like Colton was, I think my headspace would be a lot different. However, if
mm-hmm.
I was someone who was just like flying under the radar or just like in a whatever place, I'd be like, no, let's stick with the faithfuls. Let's not get shields. We don't need them. But I understand Colton, especially just because he was a target, him wanting to get one. I mean, he didn't, but I wouldn't have been surprised if their group did.
Yeah, it's tough because the whole game is very, like, it's strategy. Like, I feel like trust is the biggest thing in this game.
Yeah.
It's the biggest thing. So if you break trust even one time, I would find it hard to make it very far. So even though you risk getting murdered, I think if you take a shield, you're setting yourself up to either be banished or murdered eventually. So I don't think it's worth it. You
that's
might
true.
get, yeah, but who knows? I don't know if people are thinking like that because I do think they took it. I think that group of four took it.
I wish I could remember who that group of four was.
I know, me too.
It was
definitely.
I mean, Michael's already gone, so it wouldn't have mattered for him. So it's literally just Natalie.
Maybe Dorinda. I think it was Dorinda.
Was Mark?
Was it Mark?
Mark with
no, Mark
Natalie?
was no. I think Mark was with, like, he's always with his little clan. Wasn't he with Colton and?
Oh,
I
yeah,
think,
and the blonde girl. Oh no, she went home.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Sorry. I always think I'm so set up, and then I just don't write down things like that.
I know, because I'm so into the episode. I'm always like, okay, I'm gonna take all the notes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna know everything. And then all of a sudden, for episode 3, I didn't write a single note, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was just so engaged.
No, there was something Kristen said during one of last night's episodes, and it was saying, I'm getting confused between liking people and trusting people. And I'm like,
Yes.
That is so real. And I think that's where
Yep.
I would struggle, because I think I'm someone who's friendly with everyone and I would feel connected to everyone just because they're being nice to me.
Yeah.
But that
Well,
would
speaking
work
of that,
to my disadvantage.
speaking of that, what do you think? Because we kind of brushed over a lot of things so far, but we haven't even spoken at all about how Ron has survived every roundtable, even though he's been, like, a suspect going into every roundtable. What do you think about Ron's gameplay? What do you think? Dorinda was, like, kind of a main character in that. She was suggesting that he doesn't ask enough questions about her life. Like, do you think Ron is being stuck up, or do you think Dorinda is just playing a little bit too much like this is a housewife game? Like, what do you think?
I think you have to be careful because you can't say too much. Because I remember there being a challenge, I think in like the US or the Traitors Canada one, where there were personal questions about you and people had to like respond if they were true or false or not. So I think it's smarter to be more careful and to not give too many details about yourself, because there's so many games or like challenges that end up being more personal and they're more like about like the person, or like not a lot,
Right.
but there's end up being a couple. So I think it's smart in a sense for him to not show all his cards, but I do think he was being a bit of a dick to Dorinda, just with how he responded about all that. I don't like.
I know.
I think he's one of the people that is a faithful, but like he's convincing me that he's a traitor, even though I know he's not a traitor.
See, it's hard to say without more context. We got such a small amount of, like, conversation between him and Dorinda, so I don't really know. Haven't seen much of Dorinda at all. Do you know her from like from her Housewives seasons? Like, do you know her personality?
No, I don't
See,
know
I
Dorinda.
don't know much about her either, but
No.
she seems really nice, but she definitely seems very like, sometimes I feel like she's not playing the game and she's just treating it as like a social club.
Yep.
Like whenever I hear her talk, I'm like, I thought you wanted to play last year. You got eliminated so early. I thought you were going to come back and be like this strategy girl and like be really into it. But so far, I've only seen her kind of just be like socializing with people, which is obviously part of the game. That is the strategy,
Yeah.
to socialize. But I don't know. Like, I don't think it's wrong for Ron to not give away a bunch of
No.
information about himself. I also don't think it makes him a bad person. Like, some people just aren't that open, and that's okay.
No,
But
would you want to be the one who kind of keeps their cards to themselves, maybe doesn't give too much away? Or are you someone that would just kind of be yourself and just, I guess it probably depends on if you are a traitor or faithful.
okay,
But
so this brings up a point. This is actually something I'm really curious about, because obviously we're shown a very small amount of conversation that's recorded in the castle.
Yeah.
But this is what makes me question a little bit about the behind the scenes, because I think it was Candace in like one of the last, I think episode 3, she brought up that she didn't want like Tara to go home yet because she was using her curling wand.
oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was like, I love this little behind the scenes, because they don't sleep in the castle. They
Yeah.
sleep, from what I know, they sleep in hotels or a hotel.
Yeah.
And so clearly the castle is just like their filming ground. That's where they go every day and that's where they film. But I am so curious about the other, like behind the scenes. Like how much are they socializing behind filming?
I feel
And
like they
how much does
must-
that play into maybe Ron not being as social?
it's
Or
hard
like
to
even yeah.
my lighting's weird, sorry. I think it's hard to say. I think it's usually with reality TV shows, they're not really allowed to socialize when they're not filming. So I can't, but then again, like you said, she can borrow her curling iron, so they must somehow be socializing.
Yeah.
But I don't know,
Well,
because
even
wouldn't that, I just think that would make the game harder. Because
Well,
then it's like, yeah, sorry, you go.
no, it's okay. I'm thinking like there's no way that they're not socializing in between filming hours. Like they probably drive in cars together. There's probably just some type of rule or like something they sign that they can only talk about the game during like filming.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's no way they're not socializing outside of the castle. There's no way they're just like separating them all individually all the time. And so I think maybe that could play into the fact that Dorinda is like probably doing all this, probably socializing with everyone a lot outside of the filming. And maybe Ron's just like, I'm just kind of here to play. I'm here for the game. I'm doing all my conversations while we're filming, but I'm not overly involved outside. So I don't know.
Yeah.
And I don't
I
think you
think-
can fault someone for wanting to be like that.
No, I think Dorinda bringing that up thought it would help her case a little more with him, but I don't think that's how it worked at all. Because some people just like sharing, some don't. Like, I don't think that means he's a traitor or he's not a traitor.
Right.
I feel bad for him, especially during the challenge where everyone had to pick a partner and he was obviously by himself because nobody trusted him at that point. But then, yeah, it's weird because nobody's trusted him for 3 weeks now, or 3 episodes, but he's still there. And maybe that's the strategy of the traitor, to keep him because he's a target. But then it's like at these round tables, how is he doing enough to stay? Or he's
I
just
know.
in situations where there's that other person that's just that little bit more suspicious than he is. And
I know,
that's
it's
the only
actually
reason
pretty-
he's still there.
It's pretty impressive that he's still there, because I think it's smart for the traitors to keep him, because everybody thinks everyone thinks at least somewhat he could be a traitor.
Yeah.
And so it's smart for the traitors to keep him around. They wouldn't murder him. That wouldn't make sense for them. It's interesting that he's still there after all these round tables.
Yeah.
And it's also interesting to me that if all these people really think that he's a traitor, why are they not like being nicer to him?
That's why
Like-
it's weird.
Because I'm like, if you really deep down thought he was a traitor, like, you wouldn't you want that connection? Like, wouldn't you want to try to get to know him a bit more so he doesn't murder you?
Yep.
Like,
No, I think he's a weird one right now. It's weird.
it's hard to read.
It is really hard to read, but it's also hard to read how everyone else is feeling about him. So I'm like confused by this dynamic.
I know.
Um, I was gonna ask you because I know you don't like Michael,
No.
but what did you think about all the Colts and Michael beef in the fifth episode?
So I thought it was conniving, colluding. I'm just kidding. No, so okay, this is how I feel. I'm not a fan of Michael. I think Michael's speech towards Colton at the round table was a super low blow, super
Yeah.
unacceptable, just ew. Whether he says that's what his intention was or not, I was not a fan of Michael's approach at all at the round table.
Yeah.
Um, I I hate to say it, but I'm not the biggest fan of Colton's gameplay right now. One good point that Michael did make was like, you think you would be a little more humble this round table
Yeah.
after you just came so hard at somebody with really not that much evidence and got them eliminated. And he didn't. And so that was the only thing I agreed with. I was like, it is interesting to me that you went so hard for Tiffany, she got eliminated, and the next day you're like, all right, whatever, let's go for somebody else. Just so I don't like how it doesn't feel like confidence to me that's coming out of Colton. It feels a little, I don't know.
No,
He's definitely he's a competitor. He obviously played like a lot of sports growing up. He has that like competitive nature in him, so I'm not gonna blame him for like wanting to be in the game and like going hard, but it feels like sometimes he feels like he can't, I don't know, he can't make a mistake. I don't know.
I just don't know. I didn't like how him and Michael kind of were going at it. I kind of felt, I know, I liked Michael for the sole purpose of the entertainment he brought. Kind of how I felt about Tom Sandoval. I didn't like him as a person, but I loved watching him on the show because he just brought like entertainment for me. Michael brought chaos. And yes, people were saying they're like even if he's not a traitor, he's a distracting faithful.
Yeah.
And that's true. Like yes, he should have gone home. And yes, the like when he was talking to Colton at the table, immediately after he said that, it didn't matter what else he was saying, what else anyone else was saying. Everyone
No.
was set to send him home. Like he really
Yeah.
couldn't have done anything after that. It kind of felt like at that point they're like, I don't even think you're a traitor, but I don't want you here anymore, so you're going home. But I understand the frustrations of everyone, and obviously Michael made a comment he shouldn't have. So I don't know, it was hard, but I don't know, I find there's so much heat this season. I love watching people
There's
like freak out and like I love this. And I feel like everyone's kind of a part of it too, which it's not like different groups. It's like no, everyone's involved in all the chaos.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people who are uninvolved right now. Like, there's
No.
some people who are a little bit more removed, but most of the people left are super active in the game, which I
Yeah.
like.
There's not a lot
Because
of floaters.
No, last year there was a lot of floaters.
Yeah.
And I do think there's some people that are being intentionally quiet, like
Yeah.
the people who right now that could like be considered floaters are maybe like Tara, Steven, Johnny,
right.
a little bit. Like there are people that are they're floating a little bit right now, but I also don't think they're intentionally floating. I think there's just a lot of bold voices right now, and they're staying quiet because they can, but I
Well,
think
we
they have
also sorry, we also
No,
don't know what all the conversations are happening. We're obviously not there to see every single conversation that happens in the castle. So they might just be prioritizing, I guess, these certain conversations that are maybe a little more interesting for us to see as viewers.
Right.
And yeah, like even someone like Mark.
right.
Mark's not really doing much right now. He's not really saying much.
No, but he's paired up with Kristen. It seems like that's his like strongest ally.
And I'm
And
glad that she stuck by him after the whole like cage fiasco, that he didn't get her out.
oh right,
Yeah.
he didn't get her out. Oh my gosh! Speaking of that, Johnny not getting out not even getting enough skulls to stack. I was
And
like, what is this man doing?
I know I felt bad for
Eric.
Eric, yeah. I felt bad for Eric. But even
But
Colton couldn't even do it.
but at least Colton got everyone else got enough skulls. They like
Yeah, I know.
the stacking looked difficult. I'm not gonna say I would be good at that, but oh my gosh, him just like running around in the swamp.
Yep. No,
And
that
someone's
was
like, he's an
awful.
Olympic athlete. I was like, he's a figure skater, which is
Let's
an
relax.
athlete, but he's not a professional skull. I wouldn't want him on my team.
If
I wouldn't want
you
him on my team.
had to pick a teammate out of everyone that's still here right now, who would you pick? If you had to
Rob.
pair up, you didn't know what, yeah. Duh. If you had to pick a girl, who would you pick though?
Wait, who would I pick out of I think hmm I would probably pick Candace.
Yeah.
I don't know though. She was pretty timid about getting into the fountain. Maybe not.
True.
Maybe oh, Natalia. Natalie?
Natalie.
Is it Natalie? Oh, sorry,
I
Natalie.
think
Sorry,
it's Natalie.
I feel
I
bad now. I was saying Natalia.
I wrote down Natalie. So unless I wrote down Natalie
It's
instead of
probably
Natalia.
Natalie. I'm so sorry. Natalie from Survivor.
Yeah, I
I don't
feel
know
like
why I don't know why I was saying Natalia. Sorry about that. I would
Nat
pick Natalie.
I think Natalie would be good. She'd be good for like if it were mental or physical, I think.
Yeah, she's
Same with
not
same with Kristen. I could see
I think
Kristen
Kristen.
maybe being like pretty on in a
But
challenge.
I didn't like that Kristen in that episode where they had to like spear people. She was like, I don't want to do it. I'm like, you have to take one for the team, like,
Yeah.
because I feel like not spearing someone kind of takes like a target off your back a little. You're like, I didn't do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
um,
yeah. Well, that's like yeah. At the end, I guess Mark was the last one to do it. He's like, "Do you want to do it? You haven't done it yet." She's like, "Nope."
okay, but we also didn't talk about Monet getting
Oh,
murdered. Unfortunately, that was I was sad about that one, but I did see it coming.
I think Monet. Honestly, it might have been best for the Traitors game for Monet to leave because Monet like was smart. Like
Yes.
there were a couple times, um, just a few like discussions and like comments that they would make. I was like, "You're
Yeah,
onto
and
something."
she was active at the round table.
Yeah.
She was smart. I think definitely it was smart for the traders to get rid of her.
Yeah.
But sad for us.
I know.
That's the only thing. The only thing about me being team trader is they are good traders and they are getting rid of good people.
Well, everyone I feel like is good right now. So like
Oh,
it
you know,
seems
someone this episode that I wasn't as of a fan of was Mara.
she's not doing much.
I feel like she's talking a lot, but she's not acting a lot. She's talking a lot about like I know she talks
About
the
what?
talk right now, but she's not doing a ton. So
No, I think I don't know. I think it's really obvious that she's a faithful, maybe. I don't know. I'm
I think she's
not.
safe though for quite some time because her and Rob are like she's always gonna have Rob's back. So like
Oh
I
yeah.
think Mara will make it really far because that's like his number one alliance of someone who's not a traitor.
Yeah. Unless Lisa and Candace stick around long enough to outvote him. But I don't think they would have any reason to send Moira home right now. Like, I think it would just be dumb because she hasn't been like a
Yeah.
traitor. Like, I don't know. People don't think she's a traitor. She's a pretty obvious faithful. But at the same time, like, is it even worth having someone like that around? I don't know.
I'm curious to know like who the traders' closest alliances are outside of the traders right now. Like I think Rob's is probably Mara. It kind of looks like Colton and Rob might have a little bromanship.
Yeah.
Um
I can't tell.
Candace,
I can't tell with the housewives.
yeah.
I'm assuming it's housewife on housewife alliance. Like, it's just kind of.
Yeah.
But I feel like nobody has any like super strong alliances right now that are like ride
No.
or die.
No. Um but yeah, I mean that's kind of all that happened. Like, was there anything else that
No,
we missed?
the only, yeah, no. A lot happened, but like,
Yeah, I mean, I guess we already kind of talked about it, but like we're left on the cliffhanger if we think someone will get murdered. And I think, what do you think happens if, let's say, because right now they know that Colton doesn't have a shield, so he can technically be murdered. But do we, what happens if nobody took a shield? That means they're all safe. Do they know that they attempted to murder Colton? Like, do they announce that?
probably.
Like
Well,
next episode?
shouldn't Alan come in to the turret and say to them like you're able to kill or you're not, or are they just like are they gonna know right now, or are they
I
just gonna
think what
pick someone and then either that person shows up to breakfast or they don't?
I think what's going to happen is they already have the choice to either murder somebody or not murder someone. That's like all they're given, I'm assuming.
Yep.
And so I think they can either say, we're just not going to murder anyone and hope that that was the right move because maybe someone took a shield, or they're going to attempt to murder someone who they know for sure doesn't have a shield. The only person they know for sure would be on Candace's and Lisa's team, which is Colton,
Or Rob's team. So yeah, it kind of narrows it down.
or Rob's team. So they can only pick from that group.
Yeah.
They could attempt it, and then, but the only thing with that is like if they do attempt it, it's dangerous because if they attempt, let's say they choose Colton, right? And they attempt to murder and then it gets blocked because no one picked a shield up. Then what happens is they're going to assume that someone on that team is a traitor because they're going to be like, how did they know to choose Colton? How did they know Colton didn't have a shield? Right? Or did they just blindly guess? So I think it's risky for them to even try.
Yeah.
Because it might expose them. It might expose that they were on the team and they knew that that person didn't have a shield and they just went for it. So it's dangerous. It's dangerous. And I don't know. It's tricky.
I don't know now. But that's so true. Because if they tell Colton that like, would they tell Colton, like, oh, the traitors tried to kill you, but they didn't because you had your
I
shield? Would that be something they would tell everyone?
I
I
feel
feel like
like
sometimes
they
Alan does. I feel like Alan always plays games. Like sometimes he'll expose things, sometimes he won't. Like it's really up
right.
in the air.
Speaking of that, he didn't really expose the murder in plain sight because I feel like last
No.
season or 2 seasons ago when they had to drink out of that chalice, he said something along the lines of like sip something, right? Like he
Yeah.
kind of gave it away a little bit that there was something that they had to do. And the clue was so subtle that it didn't even, because I think that could have given them away a bit, being like, oh, who was doing this? Who was doing that? Like,
Yeah.
and so I think Candace got lucky because like no one assumed it was a murder in plain sight, so they didn't think anything of the Congo line. But if they would have caught on that it might have been a murder in plain sight, I think she would have been called out for that. So, but yeah, I'm curious to see what they do. I feel like they would say that they tried to murder someone, but it was failed.
And like not name drop.
I feel like they would name drop.
I feel like they probably would too.
I mean, because, yeah, so I don't know. I think if I was a traitor, I would probably just take the loss and not murder anyone so that I wasn't exposing myself.
No. No, because you're right. Like it
Because
would
maybe they'll
be
get to murder 2 people later.
it would be risky for them. I think Lisa really, really wants to murder Colton right now, but I think it would be so risky for them to, and even risky for Rob, just because of
Yeah.
Rob's kind of dynamic with him.
Yeah.
That you're right. The best case scenario would be to not do anything, or if they
Yeah.
are, to not kill Colton right now. I think
I just think not.
it's bad
Yeah.
timing.
I think if they don't kill Colton, then they'd have to pick someone off Rob's team, and that would expose him. So I feel like not
That's
doing
so
anything
true.
would be the best thing for the traders.
That's so. What if they have to pick someone?
I think they get to choose. I think they get to choose not to. I could be wrong, but
Oh, I'm intrigued.
anyway, I'm this season is already so like intense.
Apparently, Alan
and we haven't.
teased that episode like 6 or 7, like
Mhm.
something crazy happens at the round table. And I
Where did you see
also
that?
heard he did an interview with someone, um, and he said I think it's around like episode 6 or 7. And then I also, this could be so fake, but I also think I read last week that Mama Kelsey got into like a physical altercation with one of the housewives before the round table.
What?
Yeah.
Where did you read this information, Lauren?
I don't know. I feel like I just read things everywhere.
You're like a mom on Facebook.
I know. I don't know what to believe and what not to.
Was it AI? Like
I know. You really never know. So those are two. The one with Alan though in the interview, like I know that's for sure real. The Mama
oh,
Kelsey going after a housewife, not sure about that though.
we've been really spoiled with having like 3 episodes last week, 2 episodes this week. Now I think we only get one every week, and that is gonna crush me because
Yeah, that's
we've been
hard.
spoiled.
That's hard. It
But
might be easier for us to talk about it because we won't be so scatterbrained, but
true. But yeah, this season so far, it's not let me down.
no.
And yeah,
Do we
thanks
think
for
Taylor's
listening.
still watching?
Oh. No, sorry, Taylor is long gone. Unless she just really loved the podcast, then maybe she's still here. But yeah, anyway, I think that's all I can remember from the episodes. Let us know what you thought about the episode in the comments. And yeah, if you're listening on YouTube, like and subscribe our video. It helps us a lot.
Yep.
And we'll be back next week. And every week after that, really.
Yeah, it might look a little different for a bit. I'm
Yeah,
sorry if
Lauren
you're
is-
still here and you've seen the darkness come, but
Yeah, Lauren is at home, so I think she'll be home in a few weeks. She'll be back in our studio
Yep.
on her side.
you just put like a photo of me there.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I'll put a photo of you next to me. Okay, well, anyway,
Bye.
that's bye.